Hello friends. Magnus Carlsen, the current number one chess player, is one of the greatest chess players. Many consider him the greatest chess player of all times. Today, we will check out his outstanding victory versus strong Grandmaster Levon Aronian in Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2015. It is deservingly called his best game. Magnus with white pieces opens the pawn to d4. After knight f6, c4, e6, knight to f3, d5, knight to c3, and bishop to b4, we have Queen's Gambit decline, Ragozin defense on the board. Magnus clarifies central tension with c takes d5. After e takes d5, Magnus spins the f6 knight with bishop to g5. Aronian attacks the bishop with h6. After bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, Magnus goes queen a4 check, attacking the bishop on b4 with check. Aronian plays knight to c6, only move to block the check and defend the bishop. However, it blocks his c pawn and slows down his queenside development, which is the main purpose of queen a4 check. Both players continue their development with e3, castle, bishop e2, bishop e6, castle, and a6. Magnus puts his rook on the semi-open c5. Levon repositions his bishop to d6. After queen d1, Levon reshuffles knight to e7. We have a3, rook f to d8, b4. Magnus expands on the queen side. Please note that he has put his maximum pawns on the dark squares after exchanging dark square bishop. Excellent positional play. Knight to c8, knight to a4, planning knight to c5. Levon stops it with b6. However, it weakens a6 pawn. Magnus reroutes knight to b2. Levon goes knight to e7 as the b6 c4 route is closed for the knight. Magnus plays knight to d3, controlling the center. After knight to g6, Magnus continues queenside advancement with a4. Levon tries to stop the advancement with a5. Magnus goes b5, blocking the queenside with good control. We have rook to e8, rook to c3, bishop f5, rook a to c1, doubling the rooks on c5. Rook a to d8, knight to d2. Excellent positional move by Magnus. Rook to d7. Levon plans to double the rooks on e5. g3. Putting another pawn on dark square, paralyzing black's dark square bishop and restricting the knight on g6. Knight to f8. Levon tries to reroute the knight. Bishop to g4. Magnus preparing to exchange the light square bishops, which is black's most active piece. Knight to h7. Bishop takes f5. Queen takes f5. Magnus has firm center control and his two knights are superior to black's restricted dark square bishop. Queen to f3. Magnus goes for queen trade. After queen trade, d5 pawn will become very weak. So Levon declines queen trade with queen to g5. Magnus attacks the queen with h4. Levon retreats the queen to e7. Here, queen takes d5 is possible, but after bishop to b4, queen to b3, bishop takes c3, and queen takes c3, black gets some counterplay. Besides, it doesn't suit Magnus's style as he is brilliant at patiently grinding drawish positions and gradually increasing pressure on the opponent until he succumbs to it. So he goes rook to c6, improving further and putting more pressure on black. After knight to f6, Magnus goes knight f4, putting pressure on the d5 pawn. Although Levon's position is passive, with bishop a3 or bishop b4, he can offer better resistance. But he goes g6. probably planning h5. However, Magnus plays h5 himself. Please note that Levon cannot play g5 here, as after knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop a3, and queen f5, white is threatening black king with rook takes h6, queen h7, etc. And white is completely winning. So Levon goes king to g7. After h takes g6, f takes g6, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, and bishop takes g3. Levon wins pawn with discovered attack on white queen. Queen to g2. Magnus defends the queen, attacking the bishop and with X-ray attack on the g6 pawn. Bishop to d6. Levon defends both the bishop and g6 pawn. Magnus goes knight to c4. Excellent move, putting more pressure on black. After rook f8, Magnus plays knight to e5 with double attack on d7 rook and g6 pawn. Levon captures the knight with bishop. Before recapturing the bishop, Magnus throws a couple of intermediate moves. Queen takes g6 check, king to h8, queen takes h6 check, king to g8, and only now Magnus captures the bishop. After queen takes e5, Magnus is one pawn up, but more importantly, his queen and rook are breathing fire on the exposed black king. We have rook g6 check, king f7, and rook c4. Magnus brings his other rook also in the attack. Here, if black plays rook d1 check, then after king g2, queen d5 check, black is winning the rook on c4 with the 4. But white would still be completely winning due to overwhelming queen rook attack on his exposed king. So Levon goes queen a1 check. We have king g2, rook h8, rook f4 check, king e8, rook e6 check, rook e7, rook takes e7, king takes e7, and rook e4 check. Levon resigns as Magnus will soon hunt down his completely exposed king. Magnus shows great positional chess in this game. Initially, he puts punches on one side of the board. After black defends, he shows excellent flexibility to maneuver pieces to attack on other side. He shows why he is best at putting consistent pressure and grinding the opponent until he succumbs to it. His all-round attack, consistent grinding pressure, and great positional play deservingly makes this game his best chess game. Hope you enjoyed it and found it instructive. Please click the subscribe button to watch more such exciting games. Bye and take care.